Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
In the early 1980s, a young man named Jean-Claude Van Varenberg arrived in Los Angeles. He was 25 years old, with little money and poor English. His dream was big. He wanted to be a movie star. He took many small jobs, like delivering pizzas and laying carpets. Often he had no home and slept in his car. He always carried karate magazines with his own picture. This showed he was important, even if Hollywood did not know him yet. One evening, Jean-Claude saw a famous man. His name was Menahem Golan, a producer of action films. Jean-Claude knew that meeting Mr. Golan could change his life. It was his chance to begin his dream. Many stories tell how they met. One says Jean-Claude was a waiter and did a special kick without spilling soup. Another says he met Mr. Golan outside the restaurant and showed his helicopter kick, a jumping, spinning move. Mr. Golan was impressed by his skills. He gave Jean-Claude his business card. The next day, Jean-Claude waited 5 hours at Mr. Golan's office. When he finally got to speak, Jean-Claude took off his shirt. He then did a full split right on Mr. Golan's desk. He begged for a chance, showing great passion and desperation. Mr. Golan saw his strong will. Because of Jean-Claude's determination, Mr. Golan gave him a movie script. The movie was named Bloodsport. This moment was the start of Jean-Claude's path to becoming a known action star. It was his first real step in Hollywood. 2. A Boy from Brussels. Jean-Claude Van Varenberg grew up in Brussels, Belgium. He was born on October 18, 1960. As a child, he was small and not very strong. His father, Eugene, worried about this. When Jean-Claude was 10 years old, his father decided to help him become stronger and more confident. He enrolled Jean-Claude in karate classes. Jean-Claude started training at the Centre National de Karaté. His teacher was Master Claude Goetz. Here, Jean-Claude learned important discipline and how to use his body. This training helped him become strong both in body and mind. It taught him focus and respect, which stayed with him for life. But his training was not only about martial arts. When he was 16, Jean-Claude made a surprising choice. He started studying ballet. He continued ballet for 5 years. Most teenage boys did not do ballet, but Jean-Claude saw its value. He found it very helpful for his body control and movement. His dance teacher, Monette Lauzon, noticed his special talent. She said he had great strength and flexibility, which is very rare in a dancer. Legendary choreographer Maurice Béjart even wanted him for his ballet company. Jean-Claude learned to mix the soft movements and perfect control of ballet with the powerful, explosive moves of Shotokan karate. He often said that ballet is a true art, but it is also one of the most difficult sports. He believed that if you could survive a ballet workout, you could survive a workout in any other sport. This special mix of styles made his fighting unique, giving him a grace that others lacked. By his late teenage years, Jean-Claude was very successful in competitions. He won many karate matches, showing his skill and dedication. Between 1976 and 1980, he won 44 fights and lost only 4 in semi-contact and full-contact karate. In 1979, he proudly became the European Professional Karate Association's middleweight champion. He also won the Mr. Belgium bodybuilding title in 1978, showing his commitment to building a powerful physique. He even opened his own gym in Brussels called the California Fitness Center. This was a step, but his dreams were much bigger than Belgium. Jean-Claude wanted to be a famous movie star, a big action hero. He looked up to Hollywood legends like Bruce Lee, Charles Bronson, and Sylvester Stallone. He knew that Hollywood was the only place where his dream could truly come true. This big dream pushed him to work even harder and set his sights on America. 3. The big chance in Hollywood. In 1982, Jean-Claude left Belgium for America. He dreamed of becoming a Hollywood movie star. The first years were very hard. He had little money and spoke only a little English. To survive, he took many odd jobs. He installed carpets, cleaned, delivered pizzas, worked as a bouncer, and drove taxis. He often slept in his car. Every night, he attended acting classes and trained his body. He kept strong, hoping for a big chance. He tried to meet movie producers, ready to show his kicks. This was a time of struggle. Many would have given up, but Jean-Claude did not. He remembered his karate lesson. If you fall down, you must always get back up. Finally, he got a chance with the movie Bloodsport. But making the film was messy. It was filmed in Hong Kong with a small budget. The story was about a martial artist in a secret fighting tournament. The first movie version was so bad that the film company wanted to release it only for home video. But Jean-Claude fought for Bloodsport. He convinced the producer to let him re-edit the film. For weeks, he worked long hours in the editing room, changing the fight scenes. The final movie was not high art, but it was exciting and real. This new version connected with audiences wanting a different kind of action hero. Bloodsport opened in 1988. It earned good money on its first weekend, leading to a wider release. The movie earned almost $12 million in America and much more overseas. This was a big success for a small film. It introduced the world to Jean-Claude Van Damme, a fighter who could do the splits, show emotion, and move like a dancer. 1 year later, Jean-Claude starred in Kickboxer. He also helped create its story. Kickboxer showed more of his unique mix of martial arts and ballet. This film also became a big hit. It earned over $14 million in America. Jean-Claude was no longer unknown. He was becoming a recognized name, a brand, and his career was about to explode into bigger fame. 4. a famous movie star. By the early 1990s, Jean-Claude Van Damme was a big Hollywood star. He was no longer just in martial arts films. He made large movies with big budgets. People started to compare him to other famous action stars like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. He moved from making movies that cost $1.5 million to films that cost $20 million. In 1991, Van Damme starred in the movie Double Impact. In this film, he played two characters, twin brothers. This movie showed his growing skill as an actor and producer. Double Impact earned more than $165 million around the world when inflation is included. This was a great success. The next year, in 1992, he made Universal Soldier. This was a science fiction action film. He worked with actor Dolph Lundgren in this movie. They played soldiers from the Vietnam War who came back as cyborgs. Many people liked this film. Universal Soldier made over $100 million worldwide. This made Van Damme an even bigger star in Hollywood. Then, in 1993, Van Damme worked with a very famous director, John Woo. John Woo was from Hong Kong, and Hard Target was his first movie made in America. This film was important for its style. Hard Target earned $74 million around the world. His biggest movie, where he was the only main star, came out in 1994. It was called Time Cop. This was a thriller about time travel. Time Cop earned over $101 million globally. It became his most successful solo movie. At this time, Van Damme was very powerful in Hollywood. He was earning a lot of money for each movie. For one film, he could get $7 or $8 million. This salary was similar to what other top stars like Stallone and Schwarzenegger were earning. Jean-Claude Van Damme had truly become a famous movie star. 5. A different kind of hero. Van Damme was different from other big action movie stars. Actors like Arnold Schwarzenegger always seemed strong and never sad. Sylvester Stallone played tough American heroes. But Van Damme, who was from Europe, showed more emotion. He could look scared, frustrated, or even cry in his movies. His face clearly showed his feelings, making him seem more human. One movie critic said Van Damme often had a sad face, which was unusual for an action hero. His special fighting style also made him different. He learned ballet for 5 years. This training gave him great grace and flexibility. While other actors fought with strong, hard moves, Van Damme's fights were like dances. They were elegant and powerful at the same time. This unique style made his action scenes stand out. His most famous move was the splits. He could do the splits perfectly, a skill he used many times in his films. He would do the splits to avoid punches or sometimes just to show how flexible he was. For example, in his movie Time Cop, he did a split between 2 kitchen counters to dodge a shotgun. This move became his signature. However, as Van Damme became more famous and earned millions of dollars, problems started to appear. His behavior on movie sets began to change. He sometimes arrived late for filming or became angry and made difficult demands. The constant travel and pressure of making many films each year were becoming too much for him. One movie where his behavior was especially hard was Street Fighter, made in 1994. The director of the film said that Van Damme was often very unwell and called in sick many times. This made making the movie a very chaotic and difficult job for everyone. These were the first signs that Van Damme was having serious personal struggles, even as his movies were still successful. 6. A hard time. Jean-Claude Van Damme's big success also brought serious problems. By the middle of the 1990s, his life changed a lot. He started using a serious amount of cocaine. He spent a lot of money, sometimes $10,000 each week, consuming up to 10 grams every day. This drug use began as a way to handle stress, but soon became a full addiction. It almost killed him and badly hurt his acting career. At the same time, his movies stopped doing well. His film Street Fighter in 1994 was widely disliked, and his drug use made filming difficult. The Quest in 1996, his first movie as a director, was a failure. Other movies like Maximum Risk and Double Team earned much less money. By 1999, his movies, including Universal Soldier: The Return, were no longer shown in big cinemas. His career moved to making films that went straight to video. His personal life also became very chaotic. He married 5 times to 4 different women, a pattern that showed deep personal problems. Later, doctors found out he had rapid cycling bipolar disorder. This condition causes fast and strong mood changes. This diagnosis helped explain his wild behavior, strong emotions, and unstable relationships. He was, in a way, using cocaine and fame to cope with his mental illness. During these years, Van Damme gave many strange interviews. He often mixed French and English, speaking in ways that were hard to follow. He talked about awareness and other ideas, sometimes making unusual sounds or movements. For many people, these interviews were confusing, making him look lost or unwell. His status as a big Hollywood star faded. He was no longer earning millions of dollars. His movies were now only released for home viewing. This was a very dark and challenging time for Jean-Claude Van Damme, both in his career and his struggles with addiction and mental health. He became an example of the hard side of fame. 7. A new start. After a hard time, a new start came for Jean-Claude Van Damme. In 2008, he made a movie called JCVD. In this film, he played a version of himself, an action star who was not as famous as before. The story was about a man trying to get by, who then gets caught in a bank robbery in his old town of Brussels. Police think he is the criminal. This movie was different. It showed his personal struggles and how hard life can be when you are famous. This movie was one of the first to show Van Damme not only as an action star living in his own vulnerability. About 2/3 into the film, there is a very powerful part. Jean-Claude talks directly to the camera for 6 minutes. He talks about his life, his dreams, his problems with drugs, and his marriages. He speaks in French and even cries real tears. He told the audience how he came to Hollywood with nothing and how hard he trained. He spoke about the bad parts of fame, saying that Hollywood had used him up. People who saw the movie were surprised. Critics, who often did not take his acting seriously, now praised him. Time magazine even said his performance was one of the best of that year. This movie made people see Van Damme in a new way. He was not just an action hero, he was a thoughtful person, a human being who showed his real feelings. He became known as an aware icon, someone who understood himself and his journey. 5 years later, in 2013, something else made him famous again. He made a commercial for Volvo trucks called The Epic Split. In this ad, Jean-Claude stood on the side mirrors of 2 large trucks. As the trucks slowly moved backward and apart, he did a perfect split between them. It was filmed at sunrise and looked amazing. The video quickly became very popular online, with more than 100 million views. People made many funny videos copying it. This commercial showed his amazing flexibility and helped him become popular again around the world. He also started to take on funny roles. In 2012, he was in the movie The Expendables 2. He played the villain, Jean Villain, and many people found him very entertaining. Later, in 2016, he starred in a TV show called Jean-Claude Van Johnson on Amazon. In this show, he played a version of himself who was actually a secret agent, using his movie career as a cover. He made fun of his own image, which audiences enjoyed. Through these projects, Jean-Claude Van Damme showed that he could be a serious actor and also laugh at himself, finding a new way to connect with people. The legend today. Jean-Claude Van Damme's life story is one that makes people think about what he leaves behind. It is more than just movies. It's a powerful example of achieving a big dream, facing very hard times, and then finding a way to start fresh. His journey shows everyone that it is possible to recover and find redemption, even after big falls. He began as a weak boy in Brussels, working hard to become a champion martial artist. He dreamed of Hollywood and made that dream happen, becoming a global action superstar. However, the fame and pressure led to serious struggles, including addiction and personal problems. His career moved away from the big screen. Many thought his time was over. But Van Damme made a brave choice. In 2008, he starred in the movie JCVD, playing a fictional version of himself who was no longer famous. In this film, he showed his real feelings and spoke openly about his broken past. He shared his sadness and mistakes. This was a moment of great honesty and artistic courage. It allowed critics and audiences to see him as a deep, human actor, not just a muscles from Brussels action man. This raw honesty made people respect him again. After this film, Van Damme's career took a new turn. He started to show he could laugh at himself. He did not take himself too seriously anymore. This change made him very interesting again. He appeared in humorous roles, like the villain in The Expendables 2, and in the funny series Jean-Claude Van Johnson. Then his famous Volvo Trucks commercial, The Epic Split, became a huge success online. It showed him doing his signature move between two moving trucks, proving he still had incredible physical skills, but also a sense of humor about his own image. His entire journey is a powerful story about always getting back up after a fall. He made mistakes, but he never truly gave up. He transformed his struggles into a way to connect with people, showing his real self. His legacy is not just about the movies he made, but about his spirit of reinvention and his amazing ability to stay relevant. He proved that even when things seem finished, a new beginning is possible. What part of Jean-Claude Van Damme's story do you find most inspiring?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.